Santorini does not mean Santorini is bad. It means if your Greek island trip is short, Santorini is often the most expensive way to spend your limited days. The island gives you a world-class caldera, then asks you to pay in queues, transfers, cliffside lodging, sunset crowds, and the feeling that every meal is competing with the same postcard. The mistake is not visiting Santorini. The mistake is letting one famous viewpoint consume the whole island trip. The better move is to ask what you actually want from Greece. If you want beaches plus villages, Naxos is the safer base. If you want lunar coast and boat days, Milos is the upgrade. If you want food and quiet cycladic rhythm, Sifnos is the sleeper. If you want drama without the crowd machine, Folegandros gives you the cliff walk. And if you want the wild monkstone version of the Aegean, Amorgos is the one people remember. This is the decision map, not anti-Santorini, anti-wrong trip. By the end, you will know which island earns your short Greece window and which one only earns a day trip photo. The reason Santorini breaks short trips is not beauty, it is compression. According to Santorini's own port policy, the island planned for a same-day cruise passenger ceiling of 8,000 in both 2025 and 2026. A cap like that is not an insult. It is proof that demand has to be managed. And the crowded parts are exactly the places first-timers are told to chase. Fira, Oya, the Caldera Path, the old port transfer, and the sunset rail where everyone is trying to take the same photo. If you sleep there, you pay for the view. If you arrive by cruise, you fight the clock. If you route around it, you spend precious daylight moving instead of being somewhere. So the question changes. Santorini is still the icon. It is not always the best base. The better island is the one that turns more of your daylight into actual travel. Naxos is the island to pick when you do not want the trip to be a gamble. Visit Greece describes Naxos as the biggest and most fertile island in the Cyclades, and that matters because scale gives you options. You get a real port town, long beaches, mountain villages, ruins, tavernas that are not all priced around one sunset, and enough interior to make the island feel lived in instead of staged. Naxos is not the most dramatic answer. It is the most forgiving answer. Bad weather does not ruin it. A crowded beach does not trap you. A tired travel day can still end with dinner in Kora and a walk to the Portara. If someone asks for the safest first Greek island base before Santorini, Naxos is the answer because it gives you the widest margin for error. Milos is the island to pick when the coast is the whole point. It is less about one famous village and more about edges, white rock, red cliffs, caves, fishing villages, boat coves, and water that changes color every hour. Visit Greece lists the Piraeus to Milos ferry as roughly 7 hours by conventional ferry, or roughly 3 hours by high-speed ferry, so the practical choice is simple. Do not squeeze Milos into leftover time. Give it enough room to reward the transfer. The payoff is that Milos feels more varied per kilometer than Santorini. Sarakiniko gives you the moon rock. Klima gives you the colored boathouses. Kleftiko gives you the boat day fantasy. If your dream version of Greece is coastal texture, Milos is the upgrade. Sifnos is the island to pick when the best trip is not about checking off sites. It is about rhythm. Visit Greece describes Sifnos through villages, pottery, beaches, clear water, and local food, and it lists the Piraeus to Sifnos crossing at about 5.5 hours by conventional ferry or about 2.5 by high-speed ferry. That combination is the point. Sifnos is close enough to make sense, but slow enough to filter out the itinerary panic. You come here for Apollonia at night, Artemonas in the morning, a swim at Platis Gialos, pottery workshops, chickpea stew, and those white chapels that look almost too clean against the sea. If Santorini is a photo, Sifnos is a pace. Folegandros and Amorgos are not for the traveler who wants everything easy. They are for the traveler who wants Greece to feel a little wilder. Folegandros gives you the clean cliff drama people chase in Santorini, but the emotional center is Kora, the Castro lanes, and the walk up to Panagia over the Aegean. Amorgos goes even further from the obvious route. Visit Greece calls it off the beaten track, and the image explains why. The Hosoviotissa monastery is pressed into a cliff above the sea, the villages feel carved into rock, and the landscape is more vertical than convenient. These islands are not backup Santorini. They are different moods. Folegandros is quiet drama. Amorgos is wild memory. If you need nightlife and convenience, do not force them. If you want the story you keep telling later, this is where that story starts. Clean route is simpler than the Instagram version. Pick one base and one contrast. Naxos plus Milos is the beach and coast route. Naxos plus Sifnos is the first-timer food and village route. Sifnos plus Folegandros is the slower couples route. Folegandros plus Amorgos is the dramatic, quiet, less convenient route. Do not try to collect every island in one short window. Ferry hopping feels efficient on a map and exhausting on the ground. Every transfer asks for packing, port timing, luggage, check-in gaps, and weather patience. The win is not the longest list. The win is waking up on an island that matches the trip you actually wanted. So if your plan was Santorini because it was famous, pause and choose the mood first. Complete base, coast, food, cliff drama, or wild memory. Verdict is not that Santorini is overrated. The verdict is that Santorini is overprescribed. If you have always wanted the caldera, go. Sleep there, wake before the day traffic, and do it properly. But if you were choosing Santorini only because every first Greece itinerary told you to, choose with more precision. Naxos is the best all-around first base. Milos is the coastal upgrade. Sifnos is the food and village trip. Folegandros is the quiet cliff drama trip. Amorgos is the wild memory. The wrong trip is the one where you pay Santorini prices for a Santorini photo, then leave wishing you had actually felt Greece. So the move is simple. Do not skip Santorini because the internet told you to. Skip it only when another island matches the trip you actually want.